This is a quick video on my favorite photos of 2017. So that's it, we're in 2018, and I don't love doing too much introspection because I like to move forward, but I think it's healthy to do a little bit of looking back on your favorite photos, and I'm gonna do that for mine, and I'm gonna share with you my takeaways from each photo. I'm gonna do it like they do on TV, where they start from the least favorite to the most favorite. So I'm gonna start with number 5, which is this photo from Switzerland. So I shot it this summer in July in the Swiss Alps, and I like this photo a lot because of the foreground, of how the windy creek just leads to the subjects and the mountains and the sun is there. But that didn't all happen by accident. We slept at the refuge just down the mountain, and we woke up pretty early before sunrise, just the usual in the summer. It's like 3 a.m. We had this idea to go up the Granite Plateau. Our guide, who's the second one in the photo, told us about this place, and we wanted to go. But by that time, I had no idea there was a creek. Our guide wanted to keep pushing to the end of the valley where it gets way more narrow, and he thought we would make it for sunrise. But whenever we try to push these things and try to rush it and get somewhere quick, it usually doesn't happen that way. So I had just seen this creek in the distance on the left, and it looked cool, but it was pretty dark still. So the guide was still saying, oh, it's going to be better further up the mountains, just go. And I don't know, I had a gut feeling that I wanted to stay right here and wait for sunrise right at the creek. I have a few takeaways from this photo. And the first one is to plan. You know, when you go outdoors, you plan. Plan for everything. And no matter how much you plan, though, it's never going to be the same. Our plan was to go to the end of the valley where it was more narrow. So here comes being flexible and just adapt. So instead of rushing to the end of the valley, we just made a new game plan, and despite what the guide was thinking, like we should just push and not stay here because it was better up there, I had to go against him and just tell him, hey, I'd rather stay, and I had to be firm with my decision. At the end of the day, we're working together on this, and he just wants us to get the best photos. But it was hard for him to understand that at that time. He was, he was not upset, but he was like, come on, let's just go up there, and because that's his job, he wants to show us everything. But my job was to get a good photo, not to see everything. And then comes patience. We had to stay 30 minutes waiting there in the shadow, and it was pretty cold. We were sweating, but then we stopped moving, so we got cold in the shadow. And it was easy to just keep pushing somewhere else, and because the sun wasn't going to rise for half an hour. So even though it's half an hour, it's a long time when you're like seeing so many options around you. So this photo is in my top 5 because of what it meant to me. It meant that I had to change my plan. I also had to stick to a decision, and I feel like I own it more because even though our guide was pushing us to go somewhere else, I had to be like, no, we're staying here, and I want to get this photo, and it's going to be good, I know it. Number 4. This is an A-frame in the Pacific Northwest called the Thai House, and you might have seen it online. It makes the top 5 list because of the feel that is in it. So I was shooting this cabin for Sunset magazine. I had shot this location a bunch before, and I feel like I've gotten all the angles of it already. It's a house in the woods. It's super cool, but so many people have been photographing it after that. I feel like I was kind of running out of angles. I've seen every single side of this thing, but what I hadn't seen is a view that shows how deep it is in the forest. So this photo was born out of the desire to be different. I think it's important to feel like you want to be different than all the others. You just want to do your thing. And for this one, I had to risk the gear. It was raining hard, and as you know, drones don't like rain a lot. The lens gets pretty wet quickly, so I had to go up and down, wipe the lens, try again. So it took me a while, and it was getting pretty dark by the end of the day. So it was just a scramble to get. I was getting drenched. And to add to the complexity, there was so many trees around that the drone wasn't getting any GPS signal. And if you don't have GPS signal on a drone, it doesn't really hover well. It just moves about, and it was pretty narrow between the trees, so I could have crashed the thing 10 times. The worst part is that I had to shoot a 2 or 3 second exposure for this photo because of how dark it was, and I didn't want to go up in the ISO. So I had to balance the drift. I noticed that the drone was drifting backwards because of the breeze, and while I was shooting the photo, I had to balance the drone and just with the throttle, making it go forward at the same time, so the photo is sharp. So I think I like this photo because of how complicated it was to get it, and it ended up, you know, I shot maybe 50 of them and 3 were sharp. And the last takeaway for this photo is the details. I went high enough that I could notice the reflection of the lights on the deck, and I didn't want to go too high because then they would disappear. Just at least being aware of what's happening. Oh, there's a reflection going on of the lights on the deck. So I see it, and I'm going to work with it instead of just not seeing it and just seeing the scene as a whole. There's also a fire on the right. I don't know if you've seen it, but for those who see it, for the people who see the fire, they notice it, and it's just more real. We actually had a fire with Andrea, and I wanted to keep it burning for this photo because it seems like a detail. You could take the photo without the fire, but having that little extra glow just gives it a more natural feel. So to sum it up, my takeaways for this photo are, it was born out of the desire to be different. The details are key, like the fire and seeing the reflection of the lights on the deck. You have to see that and then play with it. And lastly, just risk the gear. You know, it's raining, the drone may crash, it doesn't matter. You're shooting for somebody and you want to come back with the right photos. So if it meant losing the drone, I was ready to do it. It's fine. Oh, and yeah, get drone insurance. Because they're expensive.